The Generals of the Yang Family, Chapter 25.
To set the stage properly, we are dropping right into a tense, high-stakes standoff on the northern borders.
Okay, lay it out for us.
Well, we have the Song Dynasty general Yu Sheng facing off against the foreign general Zhao Tianyu.
Right.
And Yu Sheng starts things off with a heavy dose of arrogance. He rides out and demands that Zhao Tianyu surrender immediately to avoid, quote, hurting harmony.
Oh, wow. Hurting harmony.
Right. It's a bold, almost dismissive opening move. He's just assuming total superiority.
Surrender so we don't hurt harmony. Which, is a highly formalized, polite way of saying, I am about to absolutely destroy you.
Exactly. It's intense.
The things immediately go off script.
Yeah.
When the fighting actually breaks out, the sixth brother, Yang Ganzhao, the central hero of our story and one of the last remaining active brothers of this legendary family, he manages to catch Zhao Tianyu from the side.
A perfect flanking maneuver.
Right. He stabs him with his spear, and the text literally says gold and fire fly up. Sparks.
It's such a striking image.
The spear absolutely cannot penetrate the armor, and Zhao Tianyu suddenly retreats.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's unpack this for a second. It's like a boxer realizing mid-swing that his opponent is made of solid concrete.
Oh, you'd be terrified.
You would. But from a practical standpoint, why did the armor spark like that? Are we dealing with magic here?
No, not magic, but profound technological shock. What's fascinating here is that it represents a sudden, terrifying realization of technological asymmetry.
Okay, how so?
Well, the foreign armies they were fighting, often representing the Liao dynasty or Khitan forces in these historical contexts, they had access to different metallurgical techniques.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, heavy iron armor that the Song infantry simply weren't used to piercing.
Wow.
When a weapon bounces off an enemy like that, the psychological shock to a commander is profound. Your mental model of how the physical world works just broke.
Because you expect the spear to go in.
Exactly. But instead of pausing to reassess this seemingly indestructible opponent, the Song commanders fall right into his rhythm.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Zhao Tianyu fakes a panic retreat, and the Song generals, despite their shock, they just go right after him.
And this is where I really have to push back on the logic of these commanders.
Go for it.
The text explicitly says that as they are chasing him toward this place called Double Dragon Valley, Yang Ganzhao actually stops his horse.
Right, he pauses.
He looks at the steep Wicked Mountains and says, wait, don't chase. I fear an ambush.
He sees it coming.
He literally calls it. He sees the trap.
Yeah.
So if he was already that suspicious, why on earth did they keep going?
It comes down to a lethal psychological blind spot, which is the curse of specialized knowledge.
The curse of specialized knowledge.
Yeah. One of his subordinate generals, Mengliang, speaks up. Mengliang is a local to this specific frontier area.
Okay.
He says, I know this place. It's a dead end. There's only one tiny path out. The enemy doesn't know the terrain, so if they go in there trapped, we have to push forward.
Oh, man.
And this is the fatal miscalculation.
Because he assumes, because he knows the land, the enemy must be clueless.
Precisely. It's a textbook example of an asymmetric information assumption. We often view local knowledge as an absolute unassailable advantage.
Right, like a home field advantage.
But here it becomes their ultimate downfall because it breeds a false sense of security. Mengliang assumes a monopoly on geographic intelligence.
Wow.
He never stops to ask the reverse question, which is, what if the enemy is retreating into a well-known dead end on purpose?
And spoiler alert for the listener, they definitely did it on purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
The Song troops charge into the valley, and suddenly the enemy is just gone.
Vanished.
Yang Ganzhao realizes the mistake, but it's way too late. The trap springs. And we really have to give credit to the enemy commander who actually orchestrated this, Yelu Di.
A brilliant tactical move.
It was. He had hidden troops stationed all along the cliffs. The text describes this terrifying sensory overload like gongs and drums echoing everywhere, a massive roar from the hidden troops, and then just a relentless downpour of arrows and rocks from the high ground.
It's an absolute slaughter.
They try to fight their way out, but the escape route is completely blocked by heavily fortified barricades. They are just hopelessly trapped in a kill zone.
Which brings us to a fascinating study in crisis leadership.
Yeah, let's get into that.
They are stuck at the bottom of this valley, cut off from the world, and the commanders immediately fracture on how to handle it. You have three distinct strategic philosophies clashing in real time.
All right, let's look at the options they debate, because I think anyone who has managed a crisis will recognize these archetypes.
Oh, definitely.
First, you have Jiao Zhan. His strategy is basically brute force and kinetic action.
Just do something, anything.
Right. He wants to gather the men and recklessly smash through the valley mouth. Just a total, desperate frontal assault.
Which would be disastrous.
Totally. Then you have Yu Shang. His argument is a bit more pragmatic, but incredibly grim.
Yeah, he's a realist.
He points out they have no food. He says if they just wait around, they are, quote, sitting and waiting for death. He argues they have to fight right now while the men still have their physical strength.
Even if the tactical advantage is 0.
Exactly. And then you have Yang Yanzhao.
Right, the leader. And he advocates for calculated patience. He understands the mechanics of siege warfare.
He sees the bigger board.
He does. He calculates that a frontal assault against a fortified high ground is suicide, regardless of their current strength. It's just throwing lives away to feel like you're doing something.
Right.
His strategy relies on conserving energy, minimizing immediate casualties, and hoping for an external rescue to hit the enemy from the outside.
Imagine you are in their shoes for a second. Just sitting there. You're trapped in a valley. Rocks are falling. Food is running out.
It's unimaginable pressure.
Do you act immediately on your rapidly decaying strength, knowing the odds are terrible, just to regain some sense of agency? Or you sit down, conserve your energy, and bet your life on an unknown variable outside the valley coming to save you?
It is an agonizing choice.
That really is.
It is the ultimate strategic dilemma between action and inaction. Action guarantees immediate losses, but offers an illusion of control.
Right.
While inaction preserves lives in the short term, but surrenders your fate to external forces.
Wow, yeah.
Ultimately, the strategy of waiting for an external rescue wins out, but there's a massive glaring catch.
No one on the outside knows they are trapped.
Exactly. Nobody knows.
Which brings us back to Mengliang, the guy whose overconfident local knowledge got them into this mess in the first place.
Time for some redemption.
Yeah, he volunteers for what sounds like an absolute suicide mission. He says he will sneak out of the valley, travel to Wutai Mountain, and find the fifth brother who goes by Wulong.
This escape sequence is a masterclass in lateral thinking and cognitive psychology.
Oh, I love this part.
Mengliang doesn't just try to creep through the shadows and hope nobody spots him. He understands that sneaking is inherently suspicious behavior.
If you look like you're hiding, people look for you.
Exactly. Instead, he waits for nightfall, ambushes a patrolling enemy guard, kills him, and steals his iron patrol bell.
And this next part is just brilliant. He takes off his own armor, disguises himself as the enemy, and walks directly into the heart of the enemy camp.
He doesn't skulk around the edges at all.
He strides through the camp, ringing the bell and shouting at the top of his lungs. But he's not just shouting anything. The text points out he is shouting in their own language.
That is the key detail.
He's yelling, "Secure the camp! Don't let the Yang generals escape! Secure the pass!"
If we connect this to the bigger picture of how the human brain processes threats, this is an incredible insight into cognitive load and inattentional blindness.
Okay, wait, explain how that works. Why doesn't someone just, look at his face and realize he's an imposter?
Because the enemy guard's brains are primed to look for a specific pattern.
Which is?
A terrified song soldier trying to quietly slip past the perimeter.
Right.
By loudly ringing a bell and shouting authoritative orders in their native tongue about securing the camp, Mengliang floods their cognitive bandwidth with familiar, expected signals.
He weaponizes their own command structure against them.
He really does. He matches their internal anxiety so perfectly that their brains simply filter him out as, quote, one of us doing his job.
That is wild.
By issuing the exact warnings the enemy soldiers are already expecting to hear, he becomes completely invisible in plain sight.
It's the ultimate clipboard trick.
The clipboard trick.
Yeah, if you walk into a restricted building looking confident and carrying a clipboard, nobody questions you.
Oh, absolutely.
If he was sneaking, he's prey. By shouting orders, he assumes authority. And it works perfectly. The text notes that the enemy camp had no suspicion and let him come and go freely.
Incredible.
He simply walks out of the mountains and heads toward Wutai Mountain.
Right.
Which brings us to a really fascinating thematic shift in the text. We move from physical traps, like the valley, to mental and spiritual traps.
Yes, the tone changes completely here.
Mengliang arrives at a serene monastery on Wutai Mountain. He's looking for the fifth brother, Wulong, who left the bloody military life behind after suffering immense trauma in previous campaigns.
He's now the abbot of this temple.
Right, and the confrontation between them is just heavily layered. Mengliang finds Wulong and makes this deeply emotional plea.
He's desperate.
He tells him the army is trapped, starvation is imminent, and he begs Wulong to save his own flesh and blood, Yang Yanzhao. He literally calls Wulong a living Buddha.
And Wulong's reaction.
He laughs. He literally laughs it off.
Yeah.
He says, I'm a monk now. My martial arts are completely ruined from sitting around chanting all day. I'm useless in a fight. You should go to the capital and ask the government for official troops.
It's a shocking response.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. I don't buy Wulong's excuse for a single second.
You don't?
No. The guy was a legendary frontline general of the Yang family. You don't just forget how to fight because you've been meditating. Is he really rusty, or is this just a classic kung fu movie trope where the master is testing the disciples' resolve?
Actually, I strongly disagree with that interpretation.
I don't really.
Yeah, I don't think it's a test at all. We have to look at the religious and psychological context here.
Okay, tell me more.
Wulong has taken solemn vows to leave the killing fields behind. To break a vow of nonviolence and re-enter the cycle of bloodshed requires massive karmic offset.
Oh, I see.
It's a genuine spiritual barrier for him. He isn't playing a game. He is desperately trying to protect the fragile peace he has built for himself.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. He's actively resisting being pulled back into the trauma.
Exactly.
But then he completely pivots. He drops the whole I'm a helpless monk routine and presents an impossible condition.
He finds an out.
He says, okay, I'll go. But my old warhorse is dead.
Right.
And he says he can't possibly fight unless he has a very specific mythical-sounding mount. He tells Mengliang he needs either the 1,000-light wind or the 10,000-light cloud.
These legendary horses.
Right. And where are they? Locked up in the capital, owned by the 8th prince.
Notice how the narrative elegantly shifts here from a spiritual problem to a macro-level logistical puzzle.
Yeah, it's a huge shift.
Wulong essentially states that his personal victory on the battlefield is entirely dependent on the caliber of his equipment, his horse.
But why is it so specific?
Because historically, the Song dynasty suffered from a chronic, devastating lack of quality cavalry horses. They didn't control the northern breeding grounds.
Okay. That makes sense.
So an elite war horse wasn't just a nice-to-have. It was a weapon of mass destruction. By demanding this, Wulong elevates the importance of supreme national-level resources over mere manpower or emotional pleas.
It's like a retired ace pilot saying, sure, I'll fly the rescue mission to save my brother, but the physics of the mission mean I refuse to fly anything less than a prototype stealth jet that's currently locked inside a government vault.
That is a perfect analogy.
He is sending Mengliang on a near-impossible errand to bypass the dynasty's own bureaucratic hoarding.
And Mengliang, having literally no other options, accepts the condition. He travels all the way from the remote frontier to the capital, Bianjing, transitioning from a spiritual hurdle to a massive bureaucratic wall.
And what a wall it is. Mengliang gets an audience with the 8th prince. Now, we should explain, the 8th prince is essentially untouchable.
He's royalty.
He's far removed from the dirt and blood of the border. Mengliang asks to borrow one of these legendary horses to save the trapped army, and the 8th prince flat out refuses.
Just a hard no.
He doesn't mince words. He says, I haven't even looked at these horses enough myself, let alone want to risk them in battle. Absolutely not.
The prince's refusal perfectly encapsulates the disconnect between the sheltered, affluent center of power and the brutal, existential reality of the frontier.
They live in two different worlds.
They really do. To the 8th prince, these horses are aesthetic treasures. They are status symbols to be admired in a manicured garden.
Yeah.
To Mengliang and the trapped army, they are tools of immediate survival.
It's infuriating. I mean, men are starving in a valley, and this guy just wants to look at his ponies.
It's maddening.
But this rejection leads Mengliang to seek out the Yang family matriarch, commanding Lady Yang, who lives in the capital. And we really need to pause here because this scene shifts the entire emotional weight of the story.
It absolutely does. It grounds this massive logistical heist in profound, crushing familial grief.
Yeah.
When Lady Yang hears the 6th brother is trapped, she weeps bitterly. You have to understand her perspective. She has sent her husband and almost all of her sons off to die for this empire.
Just sacrifice after sacrifice.
The 6th brother is the very last active son left to carry on the father's legacy. The stakes are existential for the bloodline. If he falls, the family is permanently broken.
It raises the stakes from we need to win a battle to we need to save the very soul of this family.
Precisely.
He isn't just saving an army, he's saving a mother's last surviving son. And that deep grief completely changes the moral math on what happens next.
It really justifies his next move,
because setting fire to a royal compound is treason. But letting the Yang family die out is a worse sin in Mengliang's eyes. The ninth sister steps up and volunteers to help him.
Right.
And Mengliang decides that if the bureaucracy won't give him the horse, he's going to change the rules of the game entirely. His plan is beautifully chaotic.
It is a staggering escalation. He instructs the ninth sister to ride out of the city and wait 20 miles away to facilitate the getaway.
A getaway driver, essentially.
Exactly. Then, as dusk falls, Mengliang sneaks into the eighth prince's back garden, but he doesn't just pick a lock, knock out a guard, and quietly take the horse.
No, he does not.
He goes to the Imperial Library, a building presumably filled with incredibly important, highly flammable historical documents, and he literally sets a massive fire right next to it.
I mean, so how does this actually work as a strategy? It's the ultimate break glass in case of emergency scenario.
It's brilliant in its audacity.
It reads exactly like a classic heist movie. You know, the trope, the protagonist realizes the vault is too heavily guarded, so they create a massive localized disaster on the exact opposite side of the compound just to draw the guards away.
By setting that fire, he creates an immediate existential threat to the prince's estate that supersedes the security of the stables.
Because the library is burning.
Right. The text notes that the smoke and flames reach the sky, the entire royal household panics, and the military guards instinctively rush to fight the fire.
Leaving the vault unguarded.
Mengliang uses that exact moment of supreme manufactured distraction to slip into the stables unnoticed.
He grabs the thousand-li wind, completely bypasses the chaos, and just rides straight out the east gate into the night.
It's a flawless execution of lateral problem solving.
You won't give me the horse to save the Empire? Fine, I'll burn down your precious library and take it while you're holding the water bucket.
But the eighth prince is no fool.
Oh, no, he's not.
The moment the fire is contained and he hears a report that a man rode out the east gate on his prized horse, he figures out the trick instantly.
He puts it all together.
He gets furiously angry. And what does he do? He mounts the other legendary horse, the 10,000-li Cloud, and chases Mengliang out into the pitch-black night. A literal high-speed pursuit. Our protagonist here, Mengliang, has just pulled off this daring robbery in the capital city of Bianjing.
And just to give some context here, in ancient warfare, a horse of that caliber fundamentally alters the logistics of a battlefield.
How so?
Well, it compresses time and space. It allows a courier or a commander to just completely outmaneuver entire armies.
Sure.
Taking this horse is, honestly, it's the equivalent of stealing a prototype stealth bomber.
Oh, wow. And the owner of this stealth bomber is obviously furious.
Oh, absolutely livid.
The eighth prince is hot on Mengliang's trail, riding his own magnificent beast, 10,000-mile Cloud, and the text paints this super vivid picture of the prince closing the gap in an instant, shouting for Mengliang to just drop the reins and surrender.
Because Mengliang is completely outgunned here, right?
Entirely. He knows he's about to be captured, so he needs a tactical advantage immediately, and he uses the environment in this wonderfully devious way.
Yeah, he doesn't even try to outrun the prince.
No, he orchestrates a crash.
He weaponizes the terrain. I mean, Mengliang maneuvers the chase so that the horse, the 1,000-mile wind, ends up trapped in a muddy swamp.
It's so clever.
It is a brilliant piece of asymmetrical evasion.
Yeah.
He creates an obstacle that basically forces his pursuer to completely halt all their momentum.
Exactly. So while the prince is totally distracted by his, hypercar sinking into the mud, Mengliang ducks into a nearby pine forest.
Naturally.
The eighth prince dismounts to rescue his prized horse. And the very second the prince is off his horse and his attention is divided, Mengliang pops out of the trees, leaps onto the 10,000-mile Cloud, and actually shouts an apology over his shoulder.
That is just incredible audacity.
He tells the prince, not to blame him, claims he just needs to borrow the horse to defeat the barbarian army, promises to return it, and just vanishes. But here is the mechanism I really want to dissect. Why doesn't the eighth prince completely lose his mind with rage here?
That's the big question.
Right. I mean, he was just humiliated, outsmarted, and robbed in broad daylight.
Well, when his troops finally catch up, they find their royal commander just standing by a swamp.
Right.
The natural ego-driven response, the classic movie villain response, would be to order a scorched earth manhunt.
Burn the forest, capture the thief, execute him for treason.
Exactly. But a manhunt takes time, money, and troops. And the eighth prince just refuses to spend those resources on his own pride.
He just lets him go.
He does. He implements what modern strategists might call an ego versus outcome matrix.
Oh, I like that term.
Yeah, his troops remind him that Mengliang isn't just some random bandit. Mengliang is actively trying to rescue the Yang family commander, the sixth brother,
Yeah.
who is currently trapped behind enemy lines.
Right, which is a huge deal.
Exactly. The eighth prince processes this new variable and immediately pivots. He understands the macro mission.
The big picture.
Right. The overarching goal for their nation is the defeat of the enemy forces and the extraction of the Yang family commander.
Yeah.
So Meng Liang, despite being a massive nuisance in this specific moment, is actively working toward that same vital goal.
Because punishing Mengliang would satisfy the prince's ego, but it would cripple their own side's war effort.
Exactly. So he pragmatically decides to just rescue his horse and head home.
That requires, like, an incredible level of cognitive discipline.
It really does.
Imagine getting your car stolen, tracking down the thief, and then letting them drive away because you realize their destination aligns with your company's quarterly goals.
It's pretty wild when you put it like that.
It's totally wild. But, prioritizing the macro mission pays off because this stolen horse is the logistical catalyst that Mengliang needs.
Right. Speed is everything.
The sheer speed of the 10,000-mile cloud allows him to rapidly assemble a massive rescue force.
Yeah.
He links up with Yang ninth sister, who is just thrilled about the horse, and she immediately dispatches him to a monastery on Wutai Mountain to recruit their fifth brother. Right.
And fifth brother's entry into the narrative here changes the entire power dynamic.
Totally.
Seeing Meng Liang's loyalty, he breaks his peaceful vows. He mobilizes 5 to 600 220, these incredibly fierce warrior monks.
Which is an amazing visual.
Oh, absolutely. They raise the Yang family flag and they march straight toward the Traft Valley at San Guan.
Okay, so the board is set. The rescue team is heavily armed and highly motivated.
Yes.
But the second they assemble, we hit a massive strategic conflict.
Right, the disagreement.
Ninth sister looks at the combined forces and basically says, our sixth brother has been starving in that valley for a long time. We have the monks, we have the momentum. Let's breach the enemy lines right now.
Which makes sense emotionally.
Yeah, but fifth brother, the monk commander, completely shuts that down. He orders the troops to hold back, to wait in their armor, and to gather intelligence first.
Because he knows enemy forces are massive.
Right.
It is a profound clash of military doctrines.
Wait, I'm really struggling with fifth brother's logic here.
Okay, why?
Well, his brother is a hostage, effectively starving to death in a trapped valley. If you are leading a hostage rescue, every movie ever made tells us you go in guns, or in this case, swords blazing. You breach immediately.
You want to use the element of surprise.
Yeah, explosive violence of action. Why is he hitting the brakes? Is tactical patience actually the right move when a life is on a ticking clock?
What's fascinating here is how the text explores the concept of tactical friction. Ninth sister is operating under the illusion that speed equals success. She is driven by panic and love.
Which is super relatable.
Completely. She wants to charge in because taking action feels like taking control.
Right.
But fifth brother understands that raw, emotional momentum is the single most dangerous vulnerability you can bring onto a battlefield.
Because, momentum without visibility is just walking into a wood chipper.
Precisely the point. By enforcing restraint, fifth brother is preventing his 500 warrior monks from blindly engaging a superior force.
Makes sense.
Sun Tzu's Art of War is built on this exact premise. You do not commit your forces without knowing the terrain, the enemy's disposition.
Right, you need intel.
Exactly. Fifth brother's restraint is an agonizing psychological burden. I mean, he knows his brother is suffering, but it is the only tactically sound choice.
Yeah.
Furthermore, by parking a massive, heavily armed force on the border and simply waiting, he introduces a massive unknown variable into the enemy's calculations.
He forces the enemy to react to him.
Exactly.
And the enemy commander, Xiao Tianyu, does react. He gets intelligence that a disciplined army of warrior monks has arrived under Fifth Brother's banner.
And he knows Fifth Brother is too brave, too skilled to face in a head-on battle.
Right. Xiao Tianyu realizes that physical combat is totally off the table.
So he shifts the theater of war. If he cannot defeat their bodies, he decides he has to dismantle their minds.
Here's where it gets really interesting and honestly, incredibly dark.
Yeah, it gets brutal.
Xiao Tianyu and his strategist, Ye Lu Dai, engineer a devastating psychological weapon. They don't build a siege engine.
No, they build a narrative.
Right. They find a captured border civilian who just happens to bear a striking facial resemblance to the trapped sixth brother.
It's so calculated.
It is. They execute this innocent person, decapitate him, and hang the head from a high pole in clear view of the surrounding area.
That's horrific.
And then they actively seed the surrounding villages with the rumor that Sixth Brother's entire unit was slaughtered the day before.
It is a masterclass in information warfare. They fabricate physical evidence to support a completely engineered reality.
It is the antiquity equivalent of a deepfake.
Exactly.
I mean, think about the disinformation campaigns you might see on your timeline today.
Right.
A state-sponsored actor might use, like AI, to generate a fake audio clip of a CEO admitting to fraud, specifically to tank a company's stock price before the market opens.
Yes, to cause panic.
Xiao Tianyu is doing the exact same thing, but with flesh and bone. He is manufacturing a piece of viral content designed to bypass the Yang family's logic and directly target their emotional core.
And we have to analyze the specific nature of this exploit. Xiao Tianyu isn't just lying here. He is spearfishing.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
He is weaponizing the Yang family's own virtues against them. He knows their defining traits are familial love and fierce loyalty.
Right.
By manufacturing evidence that the brother they love is already dead, he aims to completely shatter their morale.
Yeah.
The objective of this disinformation is to make the Yang family voluntarily pack up and retreat without a single sword being drawn. Because ultimately, demoralization is vastly cheaper than physical combat.
And the terrifying reality of this tactic is just how effectively it paralyzes a command structure.
Oh, it works incredibly well.
The rumor reaches the Yang camp. Ninth Sister rides out to the enemy gates to verify the intelligence herself.
She has to see it.
Right. And she sets the condition for their own defeat right then and there. She says that if it is truly her brother's head, she will retreat.
She walks right into the psychological trap.
She does. She looks up at the pole. She sees the look-alike head. And because she is already exhausted and, primed by her own anxiety, she accepts the forgery completely.
Of course she does.
She weeps uncontrollably, swears revenge, and rides back to camp to deliver the devastating news.
It's heartbreaking.
And this is the part that proves how dangerous fake news is. Even the calm, analytical fifth brother, the commander, who literally just lectured everyone on tactical friction, hears this report and completely despairs.
He buys into it too.
Yes. He laments the misfortune of the Yang family. The psychological malware successfully infects the entire camp.
The emotional contagion just overwhelms all their analytical defenses.
Yeah.
When a piece of fabricated evidence perfectly confirms your absolute worst fears, the critical thinking centers of the brain simply shut down.
But amidst the weeping and the total collapse of morale, one person refuses to accept the narrative.
Yes, Mengliang,
The horse thief from the beginning.
the very same.
He stands up as the sole skeptic and introduces logistical friction to the fake news.
Right, he asks the hard questions.
He asks the camp, when I left Shuanglong Valley to get help, there was a massive army trapped in there. Even if the enemy somehow managed to execute a total massacre, wouldn't at least one single soldier have managed to escape to bring the news?
It's a flawless logical argument.
He's like, where are the escapees? Where are the survivors?
Mengliang demands the metadata.
Yes.
He refuses to look at the shocking headline, which is the head on the pole,
Yeah.
and instead looks at the supply chains and the troop movements.
Which is what you have to do.
Exactly. Disinformation relies entirely on speed and shock. It falls apart the moment someone demands corroborating logistical evidence.
So he introduces the doubt, but then the text takes a hard left turn that genuinely made me laugh out loud.
Okay, what part?
Wait a second. Mengliang delivers this airtight, irrefutable, logical argument about troop logistics, right?
Right.
And the commander's response, fifth brother's response, is basically, you make a good point, let me go check my horoscope.
Oh.
He steps out into the autumn breeze, looks up at the bright moonlight, observes the stars, and finds the general star shining brightly over the valley.
Right, the stargazing.
And based entirely on this stargazing, he confidently declares his brother must still be alive. How do we reconcile this? We go from the ultimate skeptical takedown of a deepfake straight into consulting the Zodiac to make military decisions.
I know it sounds absurd to us now, but if we connect this to the bigger picture, the modern reader has to adjust their definition of science.
Okay, I'm listening.
In ancient military tradition, astrology was not considered mystical fortune-telling. It was an incredibly complex mathematical framework used to track time, seasons, weather patterns, and navigational coordinates.
So it was data.
Exactly. The movement of celestial bodies was deeply intertwined with the logistical realities of running an empire.
Ah,
So, for Fifth Brother, observing the general star was the ancient equivalent of checking satellite imagery or referencing a highly trusted environmental data set.
okay, so that reframes it completely. So he's pulling down the satellite feed to verify the ground intelligence.
Yes, exactly. But
Yeah.
the crucial takeaway here still remains Mengliang's initial skepticism. Mengliang represents the ultimate firewall against emotional manipulation. When you are hit with a piece of media designed to make you panic, the only defense is to pause and ask the boring, practical questions.
Like, how was this produced?
Where's the secondary evidence? Exactly.
You defeat the deepfake by asking the boring questions.
That's it.
So the deception is exposed, but the Yang family still lacks actionable ground truth,
Right. They know the enemy is lying, but they don't know the actual status of Sixth Brother.
which launches our heroes into incredibly dangerous undercover reconnaissance.
This part is so tense.
Mengliang volunteers to sneak all the way back into the besieged valley. Meanwhile, Ninth Sister takes on her own covert operation.
She disguises herself.
Yeah, as a civilian hunting soldier, and she infiltrates the heavily patrolled Tiama Mountain to gather intel.
Which is incredibly risky. She is navigating a highly volatile, lawless environment.
Yeah.
The enemy forces are on high alert, actively hunting for spies.
And she is moving through these dense, confusing woods when she is nearly overrun by massive enemy patrols.
So she has to hide.
Right. Desperate for cover, she slips into a small, thatched nunnery hidden in the forest. She drops her disguise, confesses her true identity to the head nun, and explains she is a Yang family warrior trying to save her brother.
And the nun's reaction is amazing.
It is. Showing incredible nerve, the nun decides to harbor her. She throws Taoist robes over Ninth Sister to hide her armor just as enemy soldiers burst through the doors.
The interrogation that follows is just a masterclass in maintaining a cognitive baseline under extreme duress.
The soldiers are so aggressive, they demand to know who the stranger is, and the nun smoothly lies right to their faces.
Without missing a beat.
She claims Ninth Sister is simply her disciple, and that because they live in woods filled with wild beasts, it's perfectly normal for her to carry a bow and arrows.
And what do the soldiers say?
Well, the soldiers reveal they are actively hunting a southern spy because someone recently crossed the border and stole the royal horse.
Oh, wow.
Right. The text notes, they call it the Sushuang horse here.
The interconnected plot mechanics are brilliant. Every single logistical choice creates a cascading consequence across the entire theater of war.
Seriously. But the soldiers remain suspicious. They look at this so-called disciple and demand she prove her civilian status by fighting them out on the
A
grass.
physical challenge.
Yeah, if she loses, they will drag her away to the command tent.
Right.
So Ninth Sister steps outside and effortlessly, systematically defeats every single one of them in a martial arts duel.
She establishes total physical dominance.
So what does this all mean? The soldiers get beaten up, they realize that they are entirely outmatched, and instead of blowing a horn, calling for reinforcements, and swarming her with 100 men, they just accept the defeat and walk away.
It's surprising, isn't it?
It's shocking. They leave a highly suspicious, incredibly lethal combatant hidden in the nunnery. Why would an occupying military force honor the result of a one-on-many duel instead of just arresting her?
Well, it reveals the underlying sociology of these ancient borderlands.
Okay.
You have to view the martial code not just as romantic chivalry, but as a highly functional system of informal law.
Interesting.
In disputed territories where central state authority is weak or non-existent, reputation and adherence to a shared warrior code become the only stabilizing forces.
Ah, I see.
By defeating them fairly in a challenge they themselves initiated, she proved her worth according to their cultural currency.
Right.
If the soldiers had called for reinforcements after losing a fair challenge, they would have completely destroyed their own honor in standing within their ranks. The martial code is the law of the land.
It is literally a functional gentleman's agreement that prevents total anarchy.
Exactly.
And it highlights the ingenuity of everyday civilians, too. I mean, that none couldn't rely on a police force to protect her.
No, not at all.
She had to be a master improviser, seamlessly manipulating the armed men who stood in her doorway.
Civilians in war zones survive by becoming expert readers of human psychology. The nun's ability to confidently feed a false narrative to those soldiers is just as vital to the rescue mission as Ninth Sister's sword skills.